Very good morning, students. Let us see the introduction to multiplexers and demultiplexers. Multiplexers is also called as MUX. Multiplexers is also called as MUX or many input single output, many to one device. So multiplexer is also called as MUX, or we can also call it as several inputs, many inputs single output. So you call it as many to one device. So the job of multiplexer is this selects one of the several inputs. So in this multiplexer you have 4 inputs. It selects one out of several inputs and forward that selected input to the single output line. This is done by multiplexer. I repeat, multiplexer is a device which selects single input out of several inputs and forward that selected input to the output. How it does this selection of inputs is based on select lines. So select lines will decide which of the input has to be selected, that has to be forwarded to output. So this is given by a formula like this. Number of select lines required to select the input is given by 2 to the power of m is equal to n, where m is the number of select lines, n is the number of inputs. So you have 4 inputs here. So 2 per m is equal to 4. So I can say 2 per m is equal to 2 to the power of 2, which is 4. So m value will be equal to 2. So m is number of select lines. That is the reason we have 2 select lines here, A and B. Okay, multiplexer. I repeat, multiplexer is a device which is used to select one of its several inputs and forward that input to the output. This is done, or the selection is done with help of select lines. The number of select lines are given with help of a formula. 2 per m is equal to n, where m is number of select lines, n is number of inputs. This is a typical application of a multiplexer where several devices like MP3 player, laptop, satellite and digital cable TV all are connected to 4 different inputs to a multiplexer. The select line selects any one of the input and give it to the output, which is connected to the surround system, sound system. So this is a broad application of multiplexer. Let us look into a demultiplexer. Demultiplexer is a reverse of multiplexer. Okay, this demultiplexer is a device that takes single input. Can you see? It takes single input and forward that single input to any one of the several outputs. So multiplexer will have several input, single output, whereas demultiplexer will have single input and several outputs. So this demultiplexer, the job of this demultiplexer is it takes the single input and forward it to the any one of the several outputs. The selection of to which output it needs to forward is done by select lines. Again, how many select lines are required is depending upon the formula. 2 per m is equal to n. Same formula of that of multiplexer. Whereas here in multiplexer, the value n is number of inputs. Here in demultiplexer, the value n is number of outputs. So 2 per m is equal to n. M is number of select lines. N is number of outputs. In this case, number n value is 4. So 2 to the power of 2 is 4. So m value is 2. That is the reason we have 2 select lines. So this is an application of demultiplexer. Demultiplexer is also called demux or one to many. Multiplexer is called as mux, many to 1. So demultiplexer and multiplexer does reverse operations. Here you can see the application. Computer, the output from the computer can be given. Demultiplexer will decide based on the select lines. It has to be given to printer or fax machine or color printer or pen plotter. Okay, so this is an example of multiplexer and demultiplexer. Thank you.